Hello everyone, how are you doing?
I'm doing alright. I recently had a spoiler for Naruto, which is kind of inevitable because it's such a huge anime. But in Boruto, right, I saw a clip of Orochimaru in the village with everybody just being like friends. So I was like, excuse me? Evil Snake Man comes back to the village and is accepted? I can't imagine what he has to do in order to redeem himself after what we've already seen him do so far. He's not just done things to the Leaf Village, but is a terror to the whole ninja land. He's just kidnapping and experimenting on whole villages, right? So, how can he possibly make up for that? But don't tell me. But I had this thought of Orochimaru is the Darth Vader of Naruto. So hear me out. Sarutobi Sensei is like the amalgamation of both Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. And Orochimaru was Sarutobi's student. He had three promising students, but Orochimaru was the one where he thought, this child, this is my successor. Just like Anakin was this prodigy child, and they thought that this child will be the one to sway things in our favor. But instead, Anakin goes the direction of the dark side. Now, I don't know yet, or if they ever really explain why Orochimaru goes so crazy, but he also does gradually go over to the dark side in pursuit of power. And he kidnaps people, right, and experiments them, kills them. Sarutobi Sensei knows, oh no, my student, and he has the opportunity to kill him. Well, I don't know if he could have killed him, but it's implied that this was Sarutobi Sensei's opportunity to end Orochimaru, not let him leave the village, and he lets him flee because he just couldn't bring himself to kill his student. And in Star Wars, when Obi-Wan and Anakin are fighting in that lava thing, and it's so heartbreaking and tragic, and he's like, "You were the chosen one." I even made this comparison when Orochimaru and Sarutobi Sensei were fighting back in my reaction video for that. But Obi-Wan leaves Anakin there. I think he assumed that Anakin would die, right? But he's unable to do a killing blow on this student, on this friend, on this individual that he had all this hope and promise for, just like Sarutobi Sensei, only for them to leave and become so much worse. Anakin goes on to become Darth Vader, and he's the symbol of like the dark side, and he even lures people over onto his side. Big boss, making big moves. Orochimaru goes on, he leaves the village, he accumulates his own followers, he lures people, he lures Sasuke to join him, makes a whole organization of his own dark side. And then I don't know what Orochimaru does, right, to redeem himself, but then he does redeem himself just as Darth Vader in the end. When faced with his Luke Skywalker, his long-lost son, he's unable to kill him, to truly hurt him, sacrifices himself, redeems himself in the end. So, is Sasuke going to be like Orochimaru's Luke Skywalker? There's no blood relation there, of course, but is there going to be some kind of father-son bond? It even sounds wrong to say that because in my mind, Orochimaru is not capable of such a thing. Surely if he was going to have something like that, he would have had it with Kabuto. But I don't know, maybe Sasuke touches his heart in some way and softens him. Or maybe it's something else that's completely unrelated. But that is my theory. Orochimaru is Darth Vader of Ninja Land.
The way that they're talking about the iron sand, it better be as powerful as they suggest. So the sand is particles of iron, and his chakra, the Kazekage chakra, makes it magnetic so he can mold it into anything. So it's kind of similar to Gaara's sand. Maybe we'll find out. So good. The mother and father puppets are not made from people, which is good. Granny says Sasori is the only one who can make human puppets, and I hope people haven't been trying to. Like, nobody else can do it because nobody else is even trying. She tells Sakura to go and she hesitates.
You're too slow! Iron sand! Scattered showers! No!
I think as a voice actor, you're too slow in this kind of tone must be a line you'd love to say. The puppets protect our Kunoichis and Granny is already breathing heavy and that's not good, and Sasori is seemingly pretty chilled. In a flashback we see Sasori making the parent puppets hug him, and that is heart-wrenching. The iron sand has infiltrated the father puppet and now it can't be used, so this iron sand is quite convenient in puppet combat. He sends another attack their way and Granny once again protects them, and we see that she's modified one of her own arms. She used her puppetry on herself. Interesting. I also wish Sakura would either leave or do something. Is she able to make a chakra shield? I think we've seen Neji do something like that. Or is she too injured to move? And the sand has infiltrated Granny's puppet arm now too. So I think that Sasori's whole body is puppetized, and that's why he looks the same. A little extreme, if you ask me.
No! It can't be! Curse you! Curse you, White Fang of the Leaf!
Oh, so Kakashi's dad killed Sasori's parents. Seems like. That is unfortunate. But, you know, war is war. Soldiers kill each other and they have loved ones. This is why we should perhaps try not to do that at all. I wonder if this means that Sasori and Kakashi will have some kind of confrontation in the future. Your father killed my parents, that kind of thing. Or does Sasori... I wouldn't be surprised if he was like one of those emotionalist kind of villains where it's like, I don't even care about that anymore. That's the past or whatever. So his parents died and he made puppets of them. That's very sad. That is the reaction of a child. No wonder Granny reacted so strongly when she saw Kakashi again. His father killed her children.
So we really do have a large number of orphans and unloved children in the world of Naruto. But at least Sasori had Granny Chiyo, who did love him very much. I'm sure she still loves him even now. And I'm assuming her brother as well, who would be his grand-uncle. And so in Granny's grief at the loss of her children, she passes on the puppet jutsu to her grandson, and he makes loving parents, and when he accidentally damages them, he looks quite scary. And here we have another child that desperately needed to be in therapy. In the present, Sakura doesn't run and comes up with a plan. She will be Chiyo's puppet. She's not as vulnerable to the iron, so it makes sense. She's got that fire spirit. They begin to fight, and I really like seeing how strong Sakura is. Look at the cave shake. Sasori continues to use the giant and sand tools to attack Sakura, and she's knocking them back, even sending them right through the cave, destroying it. How far in is that creepy statue? Is there a chance that it's been destroyed in the process of all of this? Perhaps Sasori should have led them outside. Naruto gets impatient, and I'm impatient too, Naruto. How far is Deidara planning to lead them? He's already seen that Kakashi isn't going anywhere. He needs to just attack both of them or just leave. Naruto is mad with rage and goes on ahead while Kakashi is working on a plan. Team Guy is still fighting, but the clones don't seem to get tired like the originals, and so it's not looking good for them. Neji can see that the hideout is collapsing, so perhaps this will spur more urgency. Not that they don't already have a sense of urgency. Chiyo says that she doesn't even think Sakura needs her help because she's already picked up on his attack patterns and is dodging them brilliantly. And she's certainly destroyed the cave quite thoroughly. They're now open air fighting. Tsunade would be proud. She continues to dodge, and I wonder how they're going to actually defeat him. They can only be on the defensive for so long. Or is the objective to last until help comes?
The most important thing for you to master is evasion.
Just dodging then?
A medical ninja must never be hit by an enemy attack. Who'll heal the unit if the medical ninja dies?
So that's why she's so good at dodging these attacks. That's our practical Hokage, Lady Tsunade.
So we see Lady Tsunade training Sakura on how to be evasive, right? And she comes at her with this massive kick, and Sakura closes her eyes and does this thing. And Tsunade is like, why would you ever do that? Why would you close your eyes when you're being attacked? And I 100% agree. Where's Iruka Sensei? He needs to come here and explain why a student graduated from the ninja college who closes her eyes when she's being attacked. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how you could actually be a working ninja and have that kind of reflex. That is something that should be trained out of you right at the beginning, surely. Kakashi Sensei as well. Bring them both here. They need to explain themselves. How can she be lacking in such a fundamental way? Or maybe this is something that developed later, because it does seem that being on a team with Naruto and Sasuke, who had these great big abilities, actually damaged her confidence. It made her shrink. So perhaps that's what happened.
Tsunade goes on to stress the need to study one's opponent to find their weak spot. Sakura is reading the patterns of his fingers and how the puppets will move in response, which is very clever. And I appreciate this way of showing that she's an intelligent fighter. Sasori wants to end things and so initiates an attack with an enormous range. And Granny gets trapped under a boulder, so Sakura is on her own now, and she's injured and tired and now also poisoned. What is the next move here? How can she move to be on the offensive?
Oh! It's over, little girl.
Sakura!
That is the coolest moment Sakura has ever had. It finally happened. That was so clever. And he's been underestimating her this whole time, calling her little girl and all these things. So she took advantage of his perception of her to land that monster punch. Well done, Sakura. That was cool. I was even expecting someone to arrive to save her. But no, she didn't need to be saved. She didn't need to be saved, guys. Awesome. I liked that. That was a good moment.
Sakura looking cool after nailing that blow. Now that the puppet is destroyed, its jutsu disintegrates. Sasori's mind is blown. Man clearly was underestimating our young Kunoichi, and so was I, to be honest. It's kind of cool to see her and Lady Chiyo be the first ones to really gain the upper hand on any member of the akatsuki, though we haven't seen too many of them so far. I think the closest thing is probably when Guy kicked Kisame that time. Now Sasori is thinking to himself, how is it possible that she's still able to move? And that's because she had the antidote. That's my intelligent girl, Sakura. It makes perfect sense to take the antidote with her, knowing that they would probably face the same person that poisoned Konkuro. Unfortunately, it doesn't provide an immunity, and it'll only be effective against the poison for 3 minutes. She wants Lady Chiyo to take the final dose and begins healing the lady's wounds. And Sasori is so busy being confused by Sakura's unpoisoned state and in disbelief that someone could even come up with a cure at all that he's just watching them. But I do appreciate the show giving Sakura props for how difficult it was to make an antidote at all. After pondering and pondering, Sasori connects Tsunade's medical knowledge to this quick turnaround on a cure for his poison. I think he thinks that Tsunade came up with the cure, not Sakura, so still not giving her props. Lady Chiyo admires Sakura's skills and accomplishments as she tends to her own wounds.
So annoying. This is taking so long, I'll never get back to my man Sasori.
You're the one making it take long, Deidara. Stop and fight them. This is like 5 episodes of just leading them away. He uses the detonating clay to separate the copy ninja from Naruto, and even while Kakashi likely can navigate the trap that Deidara has set, Naruto is going on ahead without him, so the Akatsuki finally succeeded in separating them. The Kunoichis are talking about how they only have 3 minutes, and I swear it's been much longer than that already. We're almost halfway into this episode. Kakashi tries to outmaneuver the clay bomb crickets, but the plan doesn't quite work and a bunch of them attach to him and blow him up. That was rather unfortunate, but at least it means Deidara has stopped because I'm bored of him just leading them away.
Aw, don't scowl like that. And here I was about to let you see your friend.
Give him back right now! Don't do it!
Oh man, I could have sworn you just bought it back there.
That's our copy ninja for you. Takes much more than some explosive bugs to stop him. He used the shadow clone to lead the bugs away and then promptly caught up with Naruto. He tries to get Naruto to calm down, but I don't know how effective that's going to be.
Depending on which strategy is chosen, you'd either need a long-range specialist or someone on your team who can use long-range ninjutsu to support that kind of distance combat. If you don't have one or the other, then there's no way you'll beat him. Period. I'm a Jonin, and I can sustain long-range battle.
Then we meet all the conditions, right?
That's why I told you to calm down. We can't just chase after him. He'll never leave himself open.
Kakashi has entered full sensei mode now. I'm excited to see the plan that he develops. I hope we get to see more of his copied jutsu, more than the ones that we've seen so far. Sasori finally acknowledges Sakura and begins unbuttoning his cloak to take more direct action.
I haven't been forced to solve a problem this way since I joined the Akatsuki. I wonder how long it's been.
Of course age doesn't affect him.
Oh yes, it's been a while indeed, since I last used myself.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be something like his body is a puppet and that's why he's not affected by aging. And I'm glad that I was right about that. I think I even said that somewhere. I'm not sure. It's actually a week between the last time I recorded and today. It's a week. So I'm not entirely sure of everything I said in those last recordings. I'm proud of Sakura for pushing him to the point where he felt he needed to fight with his own body. Well done for her. I am creeped out by that coil in his abdomen and the purple blood that's like dripping from it. So he's like got no organs, eh? Or is he like RoboCop, right? He's like half and half. He's got some things but not other things. Clearly no stomach and guts because he's got something else inside there. He's got weapons inside there. Oh, okay. Sasori.
How do you even do that to yourself while you're still alive? Must be excruciating, right? And I see now that that purple liquid stuff is the poison, which I keep forgetting that everything he has is poisoned. Sakura comments that it's been over a minute since she took the antidote, and I beg your pardon? You've been standing watching him for way longer than that. Sasori begins his attack, blasting them with very intense flamethrowers, and just look at his eyes. Man has gone feral. The Kunoichi are only able to hide from the intense flames, and Sasori seems to be enjoying himself, but like in a pulling the wings off a butterfly kind of way. Once he's done with fire jutsu, he moves on to water, shattering the rocks he'd heated up a moment ago. The blast is so intense, it's slicing through the rocks. Whatever he did to himself was extremely effective. Sakura is sliced again, and Mecha Sasori charges for his grandmother. Sakura grabs onto his steel guts and pulls until...
Get over here! 3 seconds!
Is Sakura the first one to defeat an Akatsuki? That is unexpected and amazing. I love how she did that and she said, get over here. You know, like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. That's so cool. And she just yanked and punched him with her super strength. Oh my goodness. Sakura is the first one to destroy. It feels like kill is not the right word for Sasori. Is he truly alive? But she's destroyed him, destroyed his body. Will there be more? Is there yet another evolution of Sasori? Does he have some more puppets hidden somewhere? And you know, now that they're destroying this cave, where is the statue? You know, that monster statue that they were using. Isn't it in that cave? Isn't it like buried? No, doesn't matter. That was very cool on the part of Sakura, and I've been complaining that I want to see her be more cool and have more cool moments, and it's like the show heard me and they were like, yeah, Michaela, here you go. Cool Sakura. I like it. And I like that they've given her moments of both like intelligence and like just brute strength. She had thought of a very clever plan before, and she had the antidote, and she's very smart, and she can also just like yank the guy and punch him in the chest, which is just, you know, that's also very effective.
Sakura smiles, and this is the first major victory we've seen her have, which is awesome because it's against an Akatsuki. Deidara is once again leading our shinobi away. He's annoyed that Naruto has calmed down. As we can see, the fox eyes and teeth have gone, so some good leadership on Kakashi's part. Sensei's got his hands together, prepping to initiate their plan. Whatever he's doing will take time, as he doesn't have the kind of chakra that Naruto does. I wonder what he'd be capable of if he did. Sakura is walking back to Lady Chiyo when she hears a sound.
What are you so happy about?
This anime really does have some pretty strong horror undertones. Like, that was pretty creepy. That heart piece, I think of it as his heart piece with those like veins leaking out of it, is so creepy. And the sounds it makes as his body comes back together is so gross. And how at such a high as she defeated him, and then of course it's not that simple. I got too caught up in the moment. Actually, it makes sense that it wouldn't be that simple. I would love for Sakura to have that level of a victory, but I'm assuming that this whole Akatsuki bad guy arc is much longer than this, and one of them is not about to die this early on in the season. It's just a shame to take away from Sakura's big moment. But I think it still stands. Even if Sasori wasn't defeated, she still was a good kunoichi. She still was a good ninja. She's just against an opponent that is even better, the best. He's like monstrous. He's not even a person, really. And Lady Chiyo seems to be unsurprised that that's not the end of the fight. So how will this end? Like, if I'm thinking in my head, none of them are going to die. What will cause them to stop fighting? With Deidara as well.
Lady Chiyo unwraps a scroll saying she'd swore she'd never use it again, but now she must. So, what's it gonna be? These blue symbols almost look like the red ones on the akatsuki clothing. Clouds, right? She summons 10 legendary puppets, powerful and very interesting in appearance. Sasori recognizes them and he summons a whole swarm of puppets. Granny's may have taken out an army, but his took out a nation. Is my man Sasori really out here destroying whole nations? And he's actually kind of embarrassed that he's had to use this much power against a young girl and an old lady. Sakura refuses to give up or run, and I like this growth. In the original run of Naruto, she often let others take the lead while she stayed out of the way. There's so many enemy puppets and Sakura and Chiyo take out a lot of them, but there's just so many. I'm impressed by them and engaged by the emotion of the moment. I really feel the tension. I'm rooting for them in the face of such a massive obstacle. Sakura gets close enough to throw this thing at him, which seals away his chakra, so now he can't use puppets, and his body is a puppet. So, is it victory now? Sakura runs to Chiyo with the antidote, but before she gets there, one of the puppets gets to its feet. At the last moment, Sasori transferred his heartbox thing to this puppet, thereby avoiding the trap. And now he moves to end his grandmother. Sakura sees this and runs faster, and will she arrive in time?
I did not see that one coming at all. I thought, yes, they've sealed him. That makes sense. That's a way to stop this fight. Maybe he transfers himself into one of the puppets and he gets away. Why is he so determined to kill his grandmother? That's his grandmother. He should have just ran away before they noticed what had happened. And Sakura. Oh, that's a real Naruto move. That's the exact same thing that he did for Tsunade. Remember? Oh, the fire spirit in these youths. Wow, she's really... These couple of episodes are really giving her a moment. It's very nice to see. But obviously I don't want her to have been stabbed. That's not nice to see.
Even with a sword in her side, Sakura asks Chiyo how she's doing. This is the most I've enjoyed her character. I like her ferocity and this kindness, this compassion. She stops her bleeding while the sword is still inside her, and now she's poisoned too. Man just adores this poison, hey? Chiyo gives the last dose to Sakura because of course she does. She was just telling Kakashi she was ready to die, and she envied the youth of the younger ninjas. Sakura grips the blade, preventing Sasori from withdrawing it, so he abandons it and draws back. And once again he attacks instead of fleeing, and he really should flee. And this time Chiyo strikes him right in the heart box. And using the mother and father puppets too, In his confidence, he let his guard down. So, is he actually going to die now? I still am not quite expecting an Akatsuki member to die so soon. And I say so soon, but this is like episode 26. But in terms of story development, it doesn't feel like we're very far into it. Will Sasori survive this, or is this the end? He really should have run away once he transferred himself into this damaged puppet. Deidara is not that far away and could easily transport them on that giant bird. Chiyo withdraws the blade from Sakura while sealing the wound, and she's really showing her strength here because she is currently poisoned.
Which is why I aimed for a spot that is impossible to heal.
I'm harnessing my own life force and conducting it into her body.
No, it can't be.
A reanimation ninjutsu.
When Lady Chiyo was first introduced, I did not expect to become so emotionally attached to her, nor did I expect such depth of emotion to come from her and Sakura's relationship dynamic. It's very surprising and very rewarding, and it feels very set up as well, because she was just saying to Kakashi how she's ready to move on to the next plane, and she envies the youth, and now she's willing to give her own life force to ensure Sakura's life continues, which is a huge deal. And you add more weight onto it because Sasori is her grandson, and he was trying to kill her. But the way she describes it as a reanimation jutsu, as soon as she said that, I immediately thought, I bet Orochimaru would love to talk to you about that.
She tells Sasori she made this special jutsu just for him. It can be used to reanimate even a puppet in exchange for one's own life force. So she made it to save him, to make him a real boy again, or perhaps to bring back his parents? No, I think she must have known what he was doing to himself.
Ah, well. But after all that's happened, I suppose that's an impossible dream now.
Sasori goes on to reveal how warped his mind has become, how the loss of his parents and replacing them with puppets affected him. He does not experience feelings in a normal way.
Sakura's injuries were severe, but she wasn't dead when I used the ninjutsu. So even though I took a risk, my life was spared.
How very unfortunate. Even if a relative, my own grandmother, died right here, I wouldn't feel a thing. My heart is just like this body. Over the years, I've killed hundreds, thousands of people. She'd be no different from the rest. This body won't fall apart or age. I'm not bound to a limited lifespan. A puppet can be recreated over and over. With puppets, you can make as many people as you want. If you want to, that is.
He says that even if his grand died right now, he'd feel nothing, just like the thousands he's already killed. He's not really human, not really a puppet, kind of alive, and now about to be dead, as they've stabbed him in the heart, the only part of him that dies. And so, surprisingly, he decides to tell Sakura about Orochimaru.
Go to the Tenchi Bridge in the village hidden in the grass. 10 days from now at noon. One of Orochimaru's henchmen is working for me as a spy. And that's where I'm supposed to rendezvous with him. However, I don't think
He died. He really did die. You saw that I was very back and forth as to whether or not an Akatsuki member would die so early in the season, especially one that was shown to be so powerful as Sasori was. But he's dead. And it does feel tragic, but it also feels deserved. Bad things happen to him, but it's not an excuse to do bad things in return. He stated that he had killed thousands of people. He was going to kill his grandmother. So Sakura and Chiyo kills the first Akatsuki member. And neither would have been able to do it without the other one. Chiyo wouldn't have been able to do it without Sakura. Sakura would not have been able to do it without Chiyo. So this feels like a good win in Sakura's books. At least to me it does.
And perhaps he's been hiding his pain in puppets, in making a puppet of his parents and making a puppet of himself. When he was moving to strike Sakura that last time, he had a flash of himself with his puppet parents. This makes me feel like he's trying to kill his humanity, his weakness, the part of him that experienced pain, the part of him that wants to be embraced by parents that are no longer there. And that's why he wants to kill Granny, because she is another of those weaknesses. When he's playing with the puppets, when he's making them hug him and they fall down and he gets this dark look on his face, I imagine he's thinking to himself, well, that didn't work. And now he's almost embarrassed at making such a pathetic attempt to find comfort in something that is ultimately futile, and deciding to just give up with it entirely and turn himself into a puppet that doesn't need anything. And he can build an endless number of puppets to make sure that he's never alone, because they will never die. They won't leave him.
What a sad story for Sasori. But I do hope that all of this has shown Sakura to herself, has shown her what she's capable of. She really does have that Tsunade spirit in her now. I like this growth in her character. I'm very interested now to see Sasuke. I don't know how long it's going to be till we see him, but I'm interested to see his growth as well, in whatever direction, but how he's changed in the last couple of years. If there'll be any surprises. Naruto seems pretty much Naruto, right? He's like the same. Except we can see that he's got a greater control with his, greater like comfortability with his fox jutsu powers. Fox chakra powers, and not really fox jutsu powers, it doesn't matter. So Sakura punched him in the face, and when that happened, he said, what's the point of that? This body doesn't feel any pain. It's just a puppet. And I wonder if that was the case for his previous body as well, even though it was his own body, but did it feel? He had turned it into a puppet, right? So if he lived in a body that could not feel anything, I could imagine wanting to die for just being tired of life and ready to move on. I mean, can he taste? Can he smell? Is the puppet just a puppet? Does it have senses? He can see, he can perceive. Can he feel? So yeah, I mean, Granny Chiyo's observation could be right, that he was just ready to go. Maybe seeing his gran again brought up all of those old memories, and he's just like, you know what, never mind. Peace. But I would not have guessed that he would have been the first Akatsuki to leave, because he was kind of hyped up quite a lot when he first appeared, even though Deidara fought Gaara, not Sasori. But you did feel like that Sasori was a big deal, and he's the one who went out first. So that was kind of a surprise. Meanwhile, right, Naruto and Kakashi are just chasing Deidara, and the other team is just fighting themselves. Like, Sakura and Chiyo have almost died several times.
And Kakashi has completed his preparations and his Sharingan is different. So it's not just the students who have made improvements in the last couple of years.
So that's going to be it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. It was so nice to see Sakura get her cool moment. I think I saw a TikTok or something, or I saw people talking about a TikTok of someone criticizing that Sakura should have killed Sasori when she punched him, I think the second time, and that it wasn't fair for her to not get that like special moment. And then other people were saying it wasn't about Sakura, it was about Sasori. Like it was about showing how impressive the Akatsuki are. And I think I would agree with that it's about how impressive the Akatsuki are. But I still feel like I have seen more of what Sakura is capable of, and that is impressive. If just the two of them were able to defeat an Akatsuki member, that means that she's pretty impressive, right? She's very strong. But you see, I feel like I know that some people have like a negative perception of Sakura. So it like makes me future worried. Like, are they not going to keep up this momentum of her character? She's doing so much better than she was in the first Naruto, and I'm like excited for this version of Sakura that is being developed so far. And it's be such a bummer if it gets dropped or it doesn't go in the direction that I'm hoping that it will go, which I suspect is what's going to happen. I think it's good for her not to have Sasuke around. She's like not herself when he's around. She is at her most impressive when she's not with him. Even before. When she's with him, then she's all Sasuke. Oh, Sasuke. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know any thoughts or opinions you have in the comments. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'm Kayla. See you in the next one. Bye.